The Pigeon. The young man eulogized his little brother with a song. The song broke apart in places, whole phrases were missed, and others hung together like braided coarse rope. And throughout, mothers and sisters let out spontaneous ohs, and fathers and brothers drove sharpened thumbnails into forefingers, and when they shook hands afterwards and hugged like children, their blood mixed and stupid brown marks streaked their cheeks. The young man couldn't finish the song. He howled a howl that took the crucified Jesus' eyes from the ground, and the howl became a scream, and the scream did permanent damage to the young man's vocal cords and twisted his lungs into knots like gnarled timbers, nothing on a silver plain nowhere. And then he took his guitar like an axe over his back and swung it into the ground. The guitar became shards of pale wood. That instrument which had previously contained such music was reduced to thin bits of debris, and the strings twanged and rolled up ugly, and the hollow body popped sickeningly, resonating in the church. And the young man picked up a pear-sized shard and drove it into his left forearm, removed it and sliced his palm broadly. He walked up to his brother's casket, placed upon it his bloody hand, a single auburn handprint which he was careful not to smear. He lifted his hand and unfastened strings, dragging like tinny invalids, serpents petrified. The young man brought the guitar neck to his seat, sat down between his mother and father, bowed his head, and afterwards he didn't speak. He didn't speak when the priest brought bandages and his father tied them tightly about his hand and forearm. He felt the tightness of it and the thudding of unloosed blood, but didn't speak. He didn't speak during the remainder of the ceremony. He didn't speak at the burial. He didn't speak in the car to the bar afterwards. He didn't speak hunched over empty shot glasses askew. He didn't speak vomiting in the car on the ride home. He didn't speak carried into bed to vomit more, to vomit wrenching his vocal cords up unsuccessfully. He didn't speak. A pigeon was trapped at the base of his throat, and it was several months before it crawled out and slumped, dark with blood, with a thwop on the white marble floor, blood beads cast. And that's what this is.
Oh, wow.
The people. I watched them. I watched them a long time. Gawkers stood with open mouths in front of billboards, staring up at some silken darling with long bones and white teeth and the fan-blown mane of a consumptive tigress. I thought of turkeys which, similarly postured, would stare up into a rainstorm and drown from sheer stupidity. I thought of Shakespeare and Prince Hamlet, wobbling on the cusp of life and death, but not too long. The day, after all, was nice. A breeze swept in, drying the sweat from the back of your neck and crackling dried leaves about the curbs like swirls of emaciated antelope, and the yellow dashes on the hot black tarmac were fresh and sharp and oddly beautiful. The people, as I watched them, I listened. I listened to them a long time. What a beautiful day, my goodness, I heard them say many times in different ways. Oh, the sun feels so good after such a long winter. I decided these amulets of speech were honest ones, but bad ones, and I snickered silently to myself. As far back as I could remember, I made it a point never to defer even to the sun. To see or not to see, to listen or not to listen, to proceed or to lie down like a dog and take it. I stepped forward into that miraculous day, rolling my shoulder just so, and leaned into all of it, the good, the bad, and the in-between. Finally, for Maya, a power of facing, a ferocity. I think of her laughing into the empty air like taking a bite out of an ice cream cone, embroidering a casual chaos with the atomic silk of human possibility. I think of her. I think of her a rooted bravery like a wind-whipped bonfire, shattering and shattering the night of us. casting its scarlet tongues about the shore to illuminate and illuminate the faces we might become. With joy and with wonder as a festival of rose petals unburdened now by gravity, shivering on an updraft to scatter, to settle in our minds, in our hearts, in our agendas, ever altered within the altars of us. Maya Angelou, what you were will not be again. And I too have seen the Grand Canyon, and I've read about a paradise so lost here that we might relegate its conception to books of stale commandments, begrudging the paradise in each of us. And as we wander toward the wakefulness of sleep, towards the transcendence of this illusion, of this bitterly chill Maya, we will have known by your light, Maya Angelou, that victory had been for the grasping, that human beauty, that human equality was possible, despite.
I know that it's hard to believe, but I think you should start.